Delanco Township Committee meeting of November 17th, 2025, beginning at 7 p.m. at the Delanco Township Municipal Building, 770 Coopertown Road, Delanco, New Jersey.
Mayor, we are recording.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to November 17th Township Committee meeting located here at 770 Coopertown Road. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bartlett.
Here.
Mrs. Patrick. Here. Mr. McFadden.
Here.
Mr. Olet.
Here.
Ms. Seuss.
Here, thank you. Also present, Mrs. Simonera, our Township Administrator, Mr. Fox, our Engineer, Mr. Heinhold, our Solicitor, Mrs. Lohr, our Clerk, Mrs. Russell, our Deputy Clerk, Mr. Fenimore, our Superintendent of Public Works, Mr. Warren, our Police Chief. That's everybody. Please rise for the flag salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Janice, could you please read the sunshine and live stream statements?
Please be advised that proper notice of this meeting has been given in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act in the following manner. Written notice has been mailed to the Burlington County Times and Courier Post and published in the December 30th, 2024 editions. Written notice has been posted on the official bulletin board of the Township of Delanco at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. This meeting of the Delanco Township Committee may be transmitted via live stream on YouTube video. The streaming of the meeting is not intended to be relied upon as formal public access under the Open Public Meetings Act, and if the technology is disrupted for any reason, the Township meeting will proceed in person as an official meeting in accord with the official notice.
Thank you. If you could please take a moment to silence your cell phones or put it on vibrate. I appreciate that. Before we go into public comments, I will just read a quick statement regarding public comment period. In accord with and subject to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, during general public comment periods, the Delanco Township Committee is permitted to institute reasonable rules and regulations to allow for a smooth process and ensure a reasonable opportunity to be heard. Calling out from the audience outside of one's time at the microphone is disruptive to the person speaking or to the committee member speaking from the dais and will not be permitted. Each speaker will have 5 minutes to speak and should limit their comments to the matter at hand. The speaker will be directed to conclude the remark once the time has expired. No time may be yielded to a speaker by another speaker. Groups are asked to select a spokesperson on their behalf. Speakers will address the committee from the podium and are asked to please begin their remarks with their name and address for the record. Township committee members are not obligated to answer impromptu questions or address remarks from members of the public during the public comment period. Speakers should expect the committee to refrain from engaging in dialogue except to the extent necessary to clarify the speaker's comments. The allotted time for speaking from the podium is a method to address the committee during the public comment period. The committee will not entertain questions or comments called out from the audience during public comment or at any other time. We ask that speakers and members of the public should at all times maintain proper decorum and shall make their comments in a civil manner. Personal attacks, obscenity, derogatory, or slanderous remarks will not be tolerated. Okay. We have our first item on the agenda, Ordinance 2025-13, amending Chapter 295-38, governing one-way streets. This is the second reading by title only and public hearing. This is on this ordinance only, so I'm going to open the hearing to the public for Ordinance 2025-13. If you have anything you'd like to comment, you can come to the podium now. Seeing none on this ordinance, I will close the hearing to the public. Can I get a motion to adopt Ordinance 2025-13 on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Bartlett, second by Ms. Fitzpatrick to adopt ordinance. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bartlett.
Yes.
Mrs. Patrick.
Yes.
Mr. McFadden.
Yes.
Mr. Olet.
Yes.
Ms. Seuss.
Yes, thank you. Comments from our professionals. Mr. Fox.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I have a pretty short list tonight. The crossing at Delanco, the developer, I informed him that we were not going to bifurcate the pond and take out the basin. He then submitted a letter indicating they want a bond reduction.
Could you just move that mic a little closer? I'm sure the audience has, just pull the whole thing closer. There you go. Yes, thank you.
So those for bond reduction, they have at least $1.2 million in bond. So the process is now that we have to look at the improvements that they did, bondable improvements, and issue a letter, be issuing a letter for next week on what the reduction should be. And that's what we have to do.
Okay.
Yeah. right.
Yep. Fine.
The 2024 Township Road Program, the Bell Avenue, they're almost done with concrete work. That'll be done the next 3 days. That'll be finished on Friday. They're going to be closing off Bell Avenue block by block, and they're going to be milling out 2 inches of asphalt. They'll ramp up at each driveway there, one time a day. And the side street, we'll be ramping that up so cars can get through over the weekend. Monday, they're going to finish milling, the capacity of total 5-inch national milling, and they're going to put base course down. They're going to come back on Tuesday with the top course on, weather permitting. So, there's always something that pops up, so I would say by Wednesday, meeting, they should have the road paved.
Are we good to pave in the 40s?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that's right. And what we do is, there's actually a calculation, you use the ground temperature and the asphalt temperature, it has to be a certain amount before they put it down. We have thermometers to check it.
Okay.
But we send the truck back.
Great. And I'm sure we put in for Jobs for Blue for that, right?
Yes, I know they did at least once.
They did. They know they did. For that.
Okay.
That's it.
The Hickory Street drainage project, we applied to DOT for a grant for that work. We applied for the construction cost $256,000 and change. We did receive, officially today, I knew about it last week, but it wasn't official. Janice received, and I remember receiving an email that we received a grant for $198,637. And with that, it's going to replace that trunk line, storm drain that runs on Hickory between Union and Walnut. And it also will include repairing handicap ramps, various curb, where it's because of drainage pipe, and also repaving that block. So that whole block will be done.
Harry, that's important because that section of drainage, that basically drains half the town, right?
It does, yes,
Yeah.
it does.
That's a big project.
And we've always had a problem with that, especially with the roots.
Yeah.
There are some trees that will come down
There
for
are,
that reason.
Without a question, one tree has to come down, and probably a couple more, but we'll know a little bit more on that. But definitely the one tree on the corner, basically the corner being and Hickory. The roots are all through the pipe there. We've been cutting it out for several years.
Yep.
Got those roots out. So for that project, that would be a spring project, spring summer
Mhm.
project. 200 Ash Street, thanks to our administrator, we did get everything straightened out on the grant. So that's ready to go. I am recommending there's, as part of what the grace was is to clean up contaminated soil. To do that, we're right along the river, there's existing bulkhead, it's in very bad shape, that's not going to hold up when we're doing our work.
Along the creek, yeah.
One big, so we need to put a seawall in on that property, very similar to the waterfront part. I don't know at this time whether we can put in vinyl as we use in most of our other ones, or we have to use steel. It's a different situation there. Without knowing the soil behind it and how deep the water is there and sort of below it, especially since when they did the boring under the creek, they had a lot of debris and boulders. So I'm recommending we do some exploratory borings, and then I can tell you what kind of seawall we put in there and what the cost would be. So I get that information, I have to tell you guys.
Yeah.
And I think Debbie did authorize you to move forward with that, so you can, what do you think a timeline on that is?
Yeah, we'll be doing that, the borings before, probably the holiday months, so probably the first week of December or so.
Because we need to know between the steel and the vinyl, the cost difference is 80% more, so we need to be able to budget in our capital for that.
Yeah, if you need it sooner than that, I'll push it.
Wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, so we're approving the bond ordinance tonight that includes the 130 for the vinyl. But if we have to do steel later on, Debbie, that's something we can address at that point with another bond ordinance. Yeah, we can amend it, so.
Okay, so I'll talk with that on the top of the list.
Great.
And the Union Avenue program that has been submitted to Army Corps and DEP, we haven't heard any comments back from them yet, but we're in the process of that. Plans are basically done, and hopefully they approve them and we want that pretty quickly. It's up to them. And that's all I have.
Thanks. We did kind of go over the projects for next year and kind of where our funding stands at, and we are excited that we already have the money set aside for several of them, so there won't be any new debt accrued for that. So, thank you for the update on that. Mr. Heinold, anything to report?
Just briefly, the township is in an excellent position relative to affordable housing. As indicated in prior meetings, we are not in a position where we have to create through development or otherwise any new units in town for the fourth round. We do have obligations with regard to trust fund money and allocation of that, and in exchange for that, that will further extend existing controls on projects that will hopefully help us into the fifth round. Mary Beth Lonigan from the planner's office, Tristan from her office, and the subcommittee have been meeting to move that process forward. So we are moving through that process, but again, we're in an excellent position overall. That's it.
Thank you very much. Township Administrator, Ms. Simonera.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have a couple of items. There are things on the agenda related to grants. The first one is the grant that Mr. Fox just spoke of for the Ash Street remediation, up to $282,000. We also received notification from Burlington County that there was opioid funding available up to $5,000. Initially, that grant had come over the summer, and we couldn't figure out what to use it on. But with the help of the Board of Ed and Joanne, we're in conjunction with the school coming up with programs. So we had the opportunity to now accept the grant for $5,000. And correct me if I'm wrong, life skills training is what it's going to be used for. So she has a great plan for that. There is also a resolution on here for a successful completion of a contract with our lieutenant. So that's another one that was very beneficial to both him and the township. And finally, I met with Mr. Nardone, the Veterans Group, and they're planning on selling flags for veterans, and in conjunction with the centennial and everything that's going on next year. So January, you will start seeing announcements go out of how you can purchase a flag with your veteran on it and where it'll be placed. The plan is basically to just really acknowledge the veterans in Delanco. So just keep your eyes open for that. We'll be sending stuff out. And that is all I have.
Thanks. And just to add to that, it's actually going to be on the decorative black light poles throughout town. I think there's going to be 4 per each light pole. There's 22
Yes.
light poles, so they should be able to get a big chunk of them. Oh, I thought it was 4.
We're not going to put another extension unless we have to, because there are other poles down the other end of town, in front of River's Edge, that we may be able to utilize, and then if we need to, we'll put the extra.
Gotcha.
But we're not going to put another bracket so that
Yeah.
there would be.
I thought it was like front and back are different. Front and back are different, so it's 4 total.
Yeah.
4 different veterans, or is it the same image on both sides?
It'll be 2 on each bracket, 1 on the front, 1 on the back, so it will be 4. Though our brackets only hold 1 banner.
No, I know, but like there's 1 flag on each side, and there's a front and a back. So there's going to be a different veteran on the front and a different veteran on the back.
At least 2.
On the left and then on the right. So
Yeah.
it's 4
That's
veterans
4.
on 1 pole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.
Gotcha. Okay. Great.
They were thinking of doing another bracket.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Public Works. John, department heads.
Thank you, Mayor. We put a half a ton of asphalt out for potholes, mostly on Delaware Avenue. We picked up 21 stops for brush. We lined the soccer field and West Avenue baseball field 9 times. We trimmed 11 trees at Gateway Park. We removed 5 shade tree that was on the list to remove. We got that done. We made a pass through the whole town for street sweeping, probably a couple times. And Bobby's doing a good job picking up all the loose leaves along the curb. And it's really helps a lot. And also, he's been sweeping where public service has been working. The dust and the dirt, when that leaf picker hits it, it's unbelievable. So we're trying to get that out of the way. This is our 4th pass through the town so far. We're on our 4th pass. And total cubic yards is 660 yards. That's it.
How many rows do you have?
We're on our 4th row.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Gets filled up quick, huh?
The compost site has been pretty muddy.
Yeah.
And you have to actually kind of push it at the edge of the road, keep everybody dumping at the edge of the road, and then push it across it. And what I found out, what helps is that the leaves kind of soak up the mud, and then we push them in a row.
Okay.
But we got quite a good, and you got to figure that's 3 towns coming in there.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great job to you and your department. Police Chief Warren?
Good evening, everyone. To date, for November, we had 4 police cases. 28 motor vehicle violations were issued with 138 motor vehicle stops, 507 calls for service, total for the year 10,313. For the cases, 211. For violations, 600, and for motor vehicle stops, 1,906. Not everyone has seen the out front. We've been able to take non-perishable items for people in need. So Detective Lippick has been overseeing that, done a great job. So we have a ton of food, so it's pretty cool. Abundant Life Fellowship partnered with Police Association as well as the Sheriff's Department, so they're going to pick everything up next Monday, so they can distribute before Thanksgiving. So
that's great.
Yeah, but people have been very generous, so we're happy for that.
For sure.
So, but yeah, another cool thing, so a couple of our officers participated in the 5K run along with township personnel, so they really enjoyed that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Something different, something new.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it was a good.
And then
time.
they were at this trunk or treat that
They
night
were,
too.
yeah, we had a truck.
He got a nap in between, but yeah.
So, but everything worked out well. So
Great.
happy for that. So,
Thank you.
and that's it.
Great job to you and your force as always.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to Township Committee, but before we do that, I wanted to kind of deviate to talk about the library contract, which is why I'm sure you all are here. And I wanted to give Matt a few minutes, Scott, a few minutes to talk about that before we open it up to public comment and kind of where we stand and give you some information on it, because I'm sure you really have no idea other than what you've heard online as to what's going on. So just a brief overview
Sure.
of what's happening.
So the current agreement that we've had with the library goes back to 1989, which is when the school went out for a referendum. The township was part of that. It was originally supposed to be a 2,000 square foot library. With the township getting onto that, we were able to expand the library to 4,000 square feet to what it is today at the Pearson School. Since then, the agreement has expired. The agreement expired back in 2020. It was originally for 5-year extensions, and we've been operating without any sort of agreement, graciously by the school board, since 2020. And we've been working for the last 5 years and 3 superintendents to come up with a fair agreement. And we started with Superintendent Joe Mersinger, and then Dr. Fitz over last year, and finally we have movement this year thanks to Dr. Tartici and the board members who are working on this agreement with us, Ms. Schlinline and Board President Eric Mossop. You've probably heard things that we're reducing hours, we're reducing funding. I've seen tons of different things being said. we're not reducing hours. We are actually adding hours to the contract, 8.5 hours a week. There are changes to the hours that are proposed, and Dr. T can speak more about the reasons why they are required. And the proposed hours right now are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12:30 to 8, Tuesday, Thursday, 2 to 8, and Saturday, 10 to 2. Currently, the hours are Monday and Friday, 10 to 5, Tuesday, Thursday, 2 to 8, and Saturday, 10 to 2. So we're adding Wednesday on, and we're also adding additional evening hours through the week. And then in the summer, it would go back to 12:30 to 8, 5 days a week, and Saturday, 10 to 2.
So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday remain the same?
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday remain the same, correct. And, we spent an exorbitant amount of time trying to negotiate a fair agreement with the library. We have what we think is a fair agreement negotiated. It will take us through the year 2039 with our town guarantee to have a library at the Pearson School with, of course, opportunities for extensions after that. So that's really the long and short of it. And I'd probably ask before we have public comment on that matter that Dr. T come up to speak on the reasons.
Yes, so let's do that now. Dr. Tarchichi, would you like to come up to the podium and give us your insight from the Board of Ed's perspective on our library?
And for those who haven't met him, this is Dr. Tarchichi. He is our new superintendent. He started this school year in Delanco.
In July, right?
Is that when you started, July?
July, yeah.
Yes, July 1st.
Oh, welcome back.
Hi. First, I just want to say hello to everybody.
Good evening.
And thank you for allowing us to use the, the Field of Dreams for our first ever cross-country meet, which was awesome. And thank you for, just being very gracious as a township to the Board of Ed, because I've seen the opposite. And, despite what everybody's doing here, I just want to let you know that from somebody who's been in 9 school districts, this is the best collegiality I've seen between a school district and a township, and I'm just happy to be part of it. And we would also like to invite everyone to our turkey trot, which is this Wednesday at 1:45 p.m., where you'll see kids run, and some adults, not me, and it'll be a good event, and we got nice green shirts so you can tell that we're all there. As far as the library goes, so I walked into it as superintendent, and honestly, it's my first time ever seeing a library come to a school district. And I don't think one exists outside of one other school district in the state. And it's a very interesting relationship, and I think it's awesome that it's there. So in schools, there's something that governs the school bodies, like every other institution for the state. So I'm very familiar with everyone who is a county superintendent and the counties we work in, the county business administrators, and what they'll tell you when they come and they visit the schools is you can't have outside individuals coming into a school district while schools are in session. And I'll explain that this has been a long-standing relationship, and this simply has always been this way. So what we did was we negotiated a system with the township and the school board where our little guys, the kindergartners, would not be subject to being outside when people were coming into the actual library. So you just have to understand, and I'm sure your police chief, and who's very good, by the way, and any other public official will tell you that it just takes one incident where something can happen, and then you never know. So our resolution was to just keep the hours the same by actually increasing the number of hours, opening it one more day, and then opening it where the kindergartners through second grade were not outside for recess and finished their lunch in totality, which protects them, protects the school district, and also protects the patrons who come and visit the library, because they can feel more comfortable going in and out of the library. And our county superintendent and our county business administrator wanted something a little different, it to open like later in the day when people were gone. But we wanted to show respect to the traditions of Delanco and have it open while, it was actually in play for our patrons, sort of deal. So that's kind of how it came to be, and then we wanted to also give the Saturday hours the same. So graciously, the township and the school board came together and even shared a position for a maintenance custodian to come in and be part of those Saturday hours, so the township could keep those Saturday hours and actually increase to Wednesday hours as well. So that was a joint venture by the school district and the township, which was awesome. So I can tell you that I think the hours will be outstanding for not only the patrons but also the students, because the little guys, especially little guys, they don't really get to use the library as much. So now the students will be able to come into the library, which is in their school, and it's a totally shared space where, if they're opening at 12:30 and we've had nothing but our morning and afternoon sort of like learning, our students from all the way from K to 6 and 7, 8 can go into the library in the morning and utilize it, which would be wonderful. And then the patrons come in the afternoon. So I think that's how it kind of came to be, this agreement, and it's really great for the patrons, great for the students, great for the town. And I just want to say thank you to the Township Committee and the school board, because without their help, it would not have gone so smoothly. And, and Scott and President Mossop did a great job working together, along with, everybody involved. Everybody involved. Your business administrator, which I call BA, but she's not a business administrator here, and everyone. We just want to say thank you. And if there's anything I can answer to the Township Committee, I'd be happy to.
Anybody have any questions for Dr. Tarshishi?
I think you covered everything. I think you covered everything.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Olet, anything?
The students using the library in the morning, as far as being able to check out books, and that still needs to be worked out?
Sure. I mean, we devise a system on how that's being done, but really they wouldn't be using it for that. So students would be coming in, and it's like, especially with little guys, they want the ambiance of using a library. So a teacher might want to, read a story to them in there, or you might have your police chief come and, do a presentation in there, something where the kids can be there and just feel like it's their space. And one thing I didn't touch on was school districts always have something called a library media specialist. And we lose points in Delanco for not having that. And we have to look for one to actually be in the library during hours, because library services should be offered to students. But you see, so much of library services are done online today. So if you research anything, or you write a dissertation, or you do any type of actual theoretical or practical research, it's done through an electronic system now. So students have to learn that system, but it's also great for them to come to the library and actually, take advantage of that space. And last year, the Walnut Street school closed, which limited the space of, your students. You have pre-K through 8 in one building, which we've made work this year, but we're going to have to come to some sort of, we're going to have to work on the growth of the school district in some way, because we are packed to the gills in the building, so to speak. But utilizing that space for the kids would be great.
So when you say, thank you. So when you say lose points, do you mean in your CUSAC?
Yeah, so the CUSAC was, and it's like something that I guess people are talking about now. They come and they go through the building with us, and they walk through. Something as simple as, you can't have anything 6 inches from a ceiling, to something as, important to them as, we don't like it that you have people coming into the building with students who are not fingerprinted, right? They go through all these different things, and they then grade us on a scale, and everything's on that scale, from the student test scores to how we perform in our operations. So operations, when it comes to having a library attached, has been critical by, people within, the county when it comes to the DOE, because anybody would say something that, you have people coming into a space where students are, and they're not fingerprinted or part of the facility, and anybody can walk in. It can be viewed as dangerous, but I know the traditions here, it's not that way. So we came up with a system to benefit the patrons and the students and the township.
So what are the repercussions for not being compliant with CUSAC? Is there anything tied to that?
They put you on a district improvement plan. So for example, one part of our plan is to find a library media specialist, where that library media specialist actually works within the libraries and offers library services to students. However, especially in smaller districts like Delanco, it's very difficult to find a library media specialist. It was hard for us to find one in larger school districts. So finding one in smaller school districts is sometimes almost near impossible. So what we do is we do a shared service contract with the larger school districts, have somebody come in, but it doesn't really solve your problem. So the best thing for us to do would be to, continue the operations of, the library and the school district, just alter the hours in the sense of, the little guys are not subject to being outside when people are coming in, and that's kind of how we came to that agreement.
And that library media specialist would be there until 12:30, so they would have the kids in the library and kind of be their librarian, so to speak?
Yes, so once we find somebody that we can contract with, they would be there till 12:30, and then those services to the students are what would assist us in our CUSAC ratings or anything else.
Do the kids visit the library now?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay.
Here and there in the afternoon, but not really.
So there's no like library class, there's no,
No.
they don't get brought down for any reason?
No.
Okay. All right, anyone else have any questions? I personally want to thank everybody involved in the negotiating. It's been quite a few years now that we've been doing this. Mr. Ouellette, Kate was on the committee for a long time. Matt kind of took over for Kate. Ms. Schlinwein obviously did a lot of work on it, and of course Mr. Mossup, and then you got to take over. So thank you all for your hard work on that. I know it's been a lot of meetings and a lot of hours trying to figure out a happy medium for everybody. So
I just want to say it was smooth. Aside from, I think Joanne ordered pizza, no toppings on the pizza, it was smooth. Everything was smooth.
Should be forgiven.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. T.
Okay, so we'll open up public comment after we get through our township committee reports, and you'll all have the opportunity to speak.
Dr. T, I thought you were going to bring the turkey trot shirts.
I do, I have no.
Oh, okay, all right. Just as long as, okay, because he said he was going to bring them.
We'll
All right,
grab them.
We'll get them for you.
We'll grab them. I just
We'll
was
grab 'em.
checking.
Would everyone like to see them?
No. We're going to be here all night if we do that. Okay, back to comments for Township Committee. Mr. Ouellette, I'll let you start.
History Board met on November the 5th, and the veteran banners was a major topic that we discussed there. Went to the County Commissioners meeting on the 12th. Big thing that's happening there was we have a water treatment facility that is going to be built out at the landfill, and currently, because the water that comes off the landfill gets trucked away to be purified or taken care of, where the county will be, we'll have our own facility there to take care of the, runoff water from the landfill. And on that note, Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you. Circling back to our township clerk, I did forget to have you give your report. So, Janice, could you please report on what's going on in the town?
Well, unless someone else is going to go over some of the upcoming events, like the Christmas Village, if somebody's going to do that.
I have some.
You have all that, okay. I really don't have anything, thank you.
Thank you. It's been quiet, huh? Nothing going on?
I wouldn't say that.
Understood. I'm sorry I forgot you there. Mr. McFadden.
All right, on October 23rd, we had a meeting with the Delran Riverside, and we were going over a joint event for the 4th of July weekend. Each town's going to hold different events on different days, and so far it looks like the Delanco will be on the 5th, and we'll be organizing a 5K run and a concert at Historical Waterfront Park. and that would be at nighttime, and we'd be trying to figure out what else we would do throughout the day. October 25th, I attended the 5K run, set up the PA system for them. Very well attended. Nice to see our police department, along with our township employees, had entered into the race. It was a very nice day and great event. October 25th, we had the trunk or treat event. Same day at night. There was actually a lot of children that attended, and the Recreation Commission provided free Kona ice for the children. November 1st, we had movie night bonfire, which was a well-attended event. Thank you, Public Works, for setting the fire for us and getting that all set up, and the fire company for maintaining the fire as we went along. It was nice to see the families get out and enjoy the movie. There was little fire pits for them to cook their s'mores. It was a well-attended event. November 13th, we had a recreation meeting. We had discussed the upcoming events. November 16th, we started to install the lights for the Christmas Village at Gateway Park. And also keep in mind, any uncarved, not painted pumpkins can be dropped off at the Public Works building. Environmental Advisory Board is collecting them for. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. When are they collecting the Christmas lights? I have a bunch of dead ones. Any idea? Did they announce that?
That's
It's
probably going to be
Is
upcoming.
it? Okay.
Yeah, it's posted. I think it's maybe the 29th to January 11th.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
I did see it posted on Facebook.
Mr. Bartlett?
All right. Since we last gave a report on October 20th, as Phil mentioned, I also attended the 5K put on by the Delanco Women's Civic Club. Nice job to them for organizing that every year. And that night I also attended the trunk or treat, which was very well attended. 27th, I attended the fire company meeting, normal business, and the 28th, the fire commission meeting, likewise. And there was discussion at the fire commission meeting about getting more volunteers and what we need to do to get some more firefighters. So if anyone is interested in the audience in volunteering, delancofire.com, there's an application. Please, if you have family members, friends who may want to give back to their community, just point them right to our website and they could sign up. I attended our library subcommittee meeting. We attended two of them over the last month. And we also had our code enforcement subcommittee meeting with our code enforcement officer, Ed Ruggiano, going across all the different issues throughout town and how they're getting addressed. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Ms. Fitzpatrick?
Thank you. DISA, Delaware Youth Sports Association, they held free basketball clinics on October 26th and November 2nd. The games are set to begin in January. Registration is now open for indoor soccer. They're in need of a soccer commissioner, so if anybody out there is interested in soccer, we certainly could use your help. Registration for spring sports will open in December for the wait list, and their annual meeting is December 3rd here. The school activities. I met with Dr. T to go over some ideas that the school board and faculty might have an interest in doing to celebrate Delanco Centennial. Joanne Donnelly prepared a lesson packet for the teachers, and I showed him the quilt the second grade class made for the bicentennial in 1976. I also plan to show him my quilt of t-shirts, and I hope to attend a faculty and Board of Ed meeting to discuss this further. They had their first cross-country meet at the Field of Dreams, which I attended, the beginning of another great program for our children, and it was well attended. I was also able to see the Halloween parade at the school. The costumes were great, and the kids had a great time. The school held a program on Veterans Day with local veterans sharing their experience and benefits to serving our country. Shade Tree met on October 22nd. Residents' requests were reviewed. One resident was in attendance. 2 sword oak trees shared the acorns and described the hazards that the acorns from one tree caused for his family as well as his neighbors, while the other tree is uplifting sidewalk and blocks the lake. The commission chose not to take down either tree. They did not believe the trees were invasive and stated that oaks drop acorns. One would be trimmed to allow for better lighting. The tree replacement program was discussed with the hopes of planting 10 in the fall. The removal and trimming list was discussed and updated. Information was shared regarding planting a Liberty tree in honor of the 250th anniversary of our country. It was very costly, so I suggested maybe they want to plant something in honor of our celebration and coordinate it with the updated plan for Centennial Park, which is Vine Street. We changed the name. Their next meeting will not be until January. The Delanco seniors met on November 11th at the firehouse. President Linda Y. discussed the trip scheduled for the balance of the year and also the trip she has scheduled for 2026. She reported on the upcoming events at the library. The speaker was Wanda Flowers, who spoke about being savvy online, knowing the difference between facts and fake news, especially artificial intelligence. Excellent program for everyone, not just for seniors. Living Springs, I met with the residents on October the 31st. They had questions regarding early voting and locations. They're concerned about the upcoming rental increase, and I've inquired as to whether or not the percentage is permitted under the current rules regarding affordable senior rentals with FMHA. Everyone enjoyed pizza after our discussions. Sewer Authority met on November 12th. The contractor is still waiting for the county to issue permits for TV inspections, root cutting, and heavy cleaning of Burlington Avenue, Fenimore, and Delview Lane, as well as Larchmont Drive. 450 Creek Road, the contractor is beginning the installation and connection to our sewer service. Our engineer will be overseeing the project to make sure it is properly installed and connected, and the operator's report is on file. The 5K run was well attended. Special thanks to a group of Delanco employees who joined this year as part of the wellness program offered through our joint insurance program. I'm pleased to announce that Ellen Buck, one of our employees, received a medal for her time in her age group. It was a successful event that will allow the Women's Club to continue to contribute to the organizations in town, as well as provide Thanksgiving and Christmas for two families. 8th grade visit and mock election. The 8th grade students were welcomed to Town Hall. This program is sponsored by the Delanco Women's Club. The mayor was invited to speak to the class before they visited the administrative offices led by Deputy Clerk Beverly Russell and the police department by Officers Jackson and Gallagher. The officers had to leave for calls, so one class will have to come back to visit their department. The students will campaign for office and present speeches to their classmates, and an election will take place, and the winners will attend the township committee meeting in December. The mayor and I met with representatives regarding trash collection in town, together with Janice, Bev, and Debbie. Another meeting will be scheduled in December to further discuss collection days. Recreation, we had a meeting on November 13th. Brandon Guy from the Taylor Design Group presented revised plans for Centennial Park and the Babe Ruth Playground. The plans were approved for both projects. Fall Fest was a great success. Everyone I spoke with had a great time. I attended Trunk or Treat. What a great event. It was so nice to see so many trunks open to the children, and the location along Delaware Avenue was perfect. Judging for Best Decorated House for Halloween and Fall was on October 30th, and the winners were announced. First place, 304 Maple. Second, 615 Mulberry. Third place was a tie between 1103 Hickory and 211 Union Avenue. There were 2 honorable mentions, 326 Rancocas and 15 Trail. Budget spending was reviewed. Upcoming events, Christmas Village and tree lighting, December 6th. Decorating the park, as Phil had mentioned, has already started. Carriage rides are on December 13th. Tickets are $5 and on sale at Brown's Jewelers. And Rec will also be sponsoring a trip to the flower show next year on March 4th. History Board, the subcommittee for the Delanco's Heroes Welcome and banners met and updated the application and cost for each banner. The Veterans Salute was held Sunday, yesterday. Major Ron Hathaway shared his video and experiences as a combat photographer with the Marines in Vietnam. Colonel Bob Van Bargen of the Air Force shared his most memorable moment during the Vietnam War. One of our residents, James Preston, also known as the Tractor Man, talked about his work on the destroyers and his job working on keeping the boilers operational. The Affordable Housing Team met with regard to providing financial assistance from our trust fund to some of the existing units as they work to rehab some of the properties. The library held their vendor fair on November 13th. It's always a great event. It provides an opportunity to purchase some gifts for the holidays and/or for yourself. I always attend this event. Our deputy municipal clerk had her jewelry display out, and I was able to purchase something for myself and something for someone else. So thanks, Bev.
Did you buy me something?
No.
Oh.
Not you, no. And code enforcement, I'm still addressing areas in town in need of attention. Residents continue to submit their photos and complaints to me, and our code enforcement official is doing a good job in getting those taken care of. Thank you.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Would you like some water?
I have it, thank you.
Okay. I'll keep my report short since everybody kind of touched on everything that I attended in conjunction with them. I did meet with Harry a couple times to go over the upcoming projects for 2026. We have a bunch of things going on, major projects, road work, parks. Harry mentioned the sewer that we got the grant for, so that's exciting. The construction will happen for Delaware Avenue. That's a project that the township is funding out of our pocket. So that was October 22nd. We met to talk about Ash Street, the remediation that is necessary on that property. We do need to install a partial seawall there as well. Park will not be done for a while, but the remediation needs to get done since we did receive a $282,000 grant for that. So. Halloween, we had a meeting with the trash company, as Kate mentioned, to talk about changing days or splitting the town. More to come on that if it does go through. Trunk or treat was awesome. We had, I think, about 300 kids come out. I just know that because of the candy count, so that was a great event. We had about 18 cars. We had some inflatable games and a DJ, and of course the free Kona Ice that Recreation did, so that was awesome. November 5th was the shade tree meeting. I know Kate had mentioned what's going on there. The shade tree plantings, we were able to actually approve, Debbie was able to approve an estimate to get 10 trees planted. Tomorrow, actually, they're going to be planted. We had enough money left in the budget. John, do you know how many trees we took down from that list, from the list, the shade tree list? How many total?
They're all done.
Was it like 20?
Yeah, there's, I still have to go back over a couple of things that I didn't like that he did, or he just didn't do enough to satisfy me.
Like
so
trimming?
I have to check it.
Yeah.
But they ripped through the list.
Good. And it was a really good
Yeah.
price, too. I feel like it was pretty fair. So we were able to get majority of that list taken care
Now,
of.
there's some trees on the county, which are county trees.
Right.
We're gonna
Okay.
get the county to do that.
And could you get them to remove the stumps on Burlington Avenue? They have stumps they've left there. They don't usually do that.
Yeah, well, that was one of the trees that we planted. Okay? Like all those little trees that we planted when we put the sidewalks in, and the county didn't want those trees there, and so they are our trees.
Oh.
So,
They
but,
took them down, I think. They left the trunks.
that, you're talking one across from the Gateway Park? Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking?
There's some there, but down further too. I'll give you the addresses. Somebody
Yeah, give
sent
me
them
the
to me.
address.
Somebody
Yeah.
sent them to me.
Okay. And I think there's one tree, I'm trying to get public service to do, but public service don't want to do anything anymore like they used to.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'm excited that we can plant trees at least. We got 10 out of our budget. I know our budget was reduced last year with
well,
shade trees.
I have been watering them, so, I think they supposedly planted a couple last week. Bill Meadowlevich, planted a couple, so.
The bridge trees, the free
Yeah.
trees from the bridge,
Mhm.
yeah. So the contractor is going to be planting 10 trees tomorrow in front of different residents' houses.
They were on a list.
They were on a list, and they are the right trees, right place, so they won't lift sidewalks, and they're approved by Public Service for the wiring, so yay for that. November 7th was the Centennial Subcommittee meeting. Met with members of Recreation to go over the celebrations for next year, as it's our 100th year as Delanco. And I did also attend the three-town, Riverside and Delran and Delanco's 250th Subcommittee. I attended that meeting with Phil and Mr. Grabov from Recreation to go over their events over 4th of July weekend and how Delanco can participate. And we're looking to do something on the 5th, as was mentioned. November 10th, we did have the Code Enforcement Subcommittee meeting to go over the various violations, express our concerns about existing violations, and just overall get on the same page with our code enforcement unit. It's always a very productive meeting. Met with Harry and with Debbie on the 12th to have the project management update meetings. And let's see what else here. Oh, so the school is doing their turkey trot on Wednesday, and we were also able to speak with First Bank. I reached out to them to submit a donation of $600 to help give away turkeys and Thanksgiving meals to school families. So they were able to sign up, and First Bank is paying for some Thanksgiving turkeys. I know there's been a bunch of initiatives out there. The county initiative with Senator Singleton filled up pretty quickly. So we wanted to see what we could do for some local families. So we were able to get that going. So the meals will be distributed on Wednesday, right after the turkey trot race at the school. So we're excited for that. I did also participate in the affordable housing Zoom call to go over the township's plans to expend funds to our existable affordable housing members from our trust fund. So we look forward to getting that moving along. And one other thing, just wanted to thank Mike Templeton for his years on the library board subcommittee as well. I left him out, but up until a few years ago when he left, he was on that board for several years negotiating that contract. It's been at least a 5-year process that I know of.
Sounds about right.
So thanks to Mike with his work on that. With that, I will shut up and move on. Meeting is now going to be open to the public for comments and questions. Just a quick reminder, because it was like an hour ago, if you'd like to come up to the podium, state your name and address. This is going to be on agenda items only, so you can speak on anything on the agenda. Please state your name and address, and you will have a 5-minute time period. So, meeting is now open to the public.
Maureen Barrett, 621 Delaware. I'm speaking as the president of the Delanco Public Library Association. I just also want to add that Mike planted some of those trees over the weekend, too.
Oh, well, thank you, Mike.
First comment is that last year we did have a very successful program at the public library for the school children. They all rotated in a field trip situation. They were issued county library cards. Our staff is all fingerprinted as of this year. Everyone is current. We made sure of the security of the kids. Very positive. We heard at the Fall Fest, parents stopped by. We're sad that that program had ended. So just for that. Secondly, no one can just walk in the school from the library. There's a door and it's locked. People do walk through the library from the school during public hours. That's another issue, but during the library hours, no one can just walk into the school. That can't happen. So now I'm going to move into my prepared remarks. Over the last 20 years, our library has brought tens of thousands of dollars to town. The board's advocacy has more than doubled our county funding. The increased use of the library has led to increased state funding. Our active Friends of the Library group has raised additional dollars in program support. In the public sessions about 401 Creek, you noted you can't afford a community center. For years, we have filled that role, offering hundreds of free programs for all ages and interests, from preschool story time to yoga to performances to nature talks. We host meetings for town organizations. We assist people who need public computers. It's the place where neighbors connect and become friends. Just this morning at meditation, one of the participants said, "I feel like we are all connected in this room." That was 10:30 this morning. In 2019, we met with the Township Committee regarding your maintenance agreement with the school board. It details what you pay and what utilities and maintenance services you receive in return. We outlined ongoing maintenance issues as well as concerns about the end date of the long-term agreement. After 6 years, it was shocking to suddenly see on Friday afternoon the approval of an agreement we hadn't seen on the consent agenda for this evening. The 1987 referendum ensured the library's right to a home at Pearson for 75 years through 2062 and beyond. Unless you reinstate that part of the agreement or are building a new library, that is a certain slow death sentence for us. Giving the district the option to evict the library would be a mistake. As I have stated at this microphone multiple times in the past, the school district has actively stood in the way of library improvement. Our residents' continued library service cannot rest on the desires of the school district or a Board of Education. Hours of operation obviously fall under operations. By New Jersey statute, association library operations are to be determined by the independent library board of trustees. At every training we are told, the board runs the library, not the town council or the mayor or anyone else. Losing our weekday morning hours would have significant impact. Our preschool story time would end after 22 years. You can't have that in the afternoon. Little kids are sleeping. The programs and meeting times we have been able to offer our seniors would end. Many seniors who no longer drive in the dark count on our morning hours and programs. Of course, no one of any age wants to be in the school parking lot around dismissal time. The Library Board of Trustees is unanimously in favor of retaining our current hours because they best serve our public. As we have said repeatedly, any change in the end date of our agreement or our hours affects our usage and funding. Usage directly impacts our level of funding from the county, the state, and the public. Actually, your support also impacts our support at the county. Every meeting I go to, they say, your township is behind you, and I say, yes, they are. So that is definitely a factor as well. We rely on that additional money for about a third of our budget. We pay for books and materials, phone service, insurance, the parking lot light, office supplies, and programs. Any uncertainty about the long-term future of the library affects fundraising, grants, volunteer commitment, and long-term planning. All in turn reflect dollars that will not be coming to our town. Please continue to work towards an agreement that will serve the whole community. Guarantee space for the library through 2062 and beyond. The residents approved the referendum to build shared space at Pearson as the library's long-term home. Honor those people who worked door to door to get that referendum passed. I think some of them are here tonight. Avoid any agreement that includes operational matters, which are the sole purview of the Library Board of Trustees. Ill-advised changes will hurt our residents, the library funding, and its ability to provide services. Make no mistake, an agreement with a soft or soon sunset date would be a first step in closing the public library. You would be the committee who moved toward the likely demise of an institution that has served its community well for nearly 160 years. Maintaining a good library is a quality of life issue. Nice towns have nice libraries. Please work towards an agreement that ensures our library's future and its freedom to operate to meet our community's needs. It doesn't cost the township an extra dime. Not doing so will cost the library its future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Linda Y., 600 Perkins Lane. I'm the president of the Women's Club. I'm in the Friends Group. I'm on the board of the library, and I'm president of the seniors. We're not happy with you guys. We're not. What safety issue? The door is locked. It's been locked. The kids have been fine all these years. I don't know Mr. T because I haven't gone to a board meeting because my blood pressure gets too high. Story time. Preschool kids have short attention spans. They are more ready to learn and listen in the morning. I go there. It's mostly grandparents. They don't want to come at night. We don't want to be in that parking lot. After 3 o'clock, it's nuts. When are the story times supposed to be? In the afternoon at 3 o'clock when the parents are home and they're doing dance, soccer, football, whatever programs the older kids are doing, so the story time won't be able to continue for these little kids. Mr. T is concerned about the little ones, the safety. Scott said the same thing on Facebook. The poor little kids, we're not concerned. You're wrong. We are concerned. Your grandson goes there. He likes it. He loves Mrs. Katrina. The library is a community space. It's free. The programs are not charged. We do yoga, meditation, puzzles, crafts, computers, book club, tutoring, sewing, and much more. And it's free, and the meetings are attended there for all different groups, not just library groups. Last year, school kids went to the library. This year, no school children go to the library. It's not, we had a librarian. Heather was there, Mrs. Phillips. She's certified. She can be, well, she was then. You're shaking your head no. She was allowed to take library classes. She taught library things, and the kids came in freely 2 years ago. The administration has changed, and things change. Every year it's been different. It's not any continuity. Seniors, like Maureen said, a lot of them don't drive at night. They can't see. And it's dark at 4:15. When are they going to go to the library? At 3 o'clock? No, no one's going to go then. At 4 o'clock, 4:15, it's dark. They can't get home. The township board can't support just sports programs and rec programs. They should be supporting community fellowship, enrichment, and networking. When the school board and superintendent decided to close Walnut Street School, they assured the community there was plenty of room. They showed us a diagram of where all the classrooms would be. I attended those meetings. Well, all of a sudden, there's no room. Now they've got to take over the library space, which is community space. It's not school space. No one authorized it as school space. You shouldn't be able to authorize it as school space because it was a referendum by the township that it was a library. It's not a school. It's connected to a school, but that doesn't mean it's your school.
The school owns the property, and the referendum was by the school, not by the township. Just so
The
you know.
voters paid for it, correct?
Under the
Us,
school
all
district,
of
not
us?
the township, though. The township didn't have a referendum. It was the school district that did the referendum. It's the school district's
Who
property.
authorized the library?
You're in 1960s you're talking about?
Yes.
Sure, back then, but we're talking about who owns the school, who owns the library. The school district owns the building. Go ahead.
Okay, then they should be paying for the sewer that backed up in the library. Then cleaning the carpet that backed up from their bathroom. That wasn't done. If space is a problem for the school, they decided to close Walnut Street. Let the administrators go to Walnut Street and let the kids use the administration offices. Or get we used to go, we called them Quonset huts, but get a modular building for the extra space that they need. That's a viable solution instead of taking over the library space. The school already has access to the library Tuesday and Thursday, all day, from 2 to 8, and all day on Wednesday, and Saturday from 10 to 2. There's a lot of hours there that they can be there. They don't choose to be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment?
Hi, I'm Cindy Wagstaff, 231 Edgewood Avenue. So I had most of my questions really answered by all of you and Dr. Tarchichi. But I do have some concerns about a couple of things that maybe you could discuss. Maybe you already know the answers. One of which is, how will the hours work? How will the pay for the employees work? Will there be extra employees hired for these extra hours? Adding on another whole day includes, what, 7.5 more hours of pay? Where does that come from? Does that come from part of the township, part of the school? Just kind of curious about how our employees will get paid for the library. By the way, I'm on the Friends of the Library also. Speaking of which, we've added, in the past few years, added many, many events for the public, which have become more and more popular. Every time we have an event, more and more people are coming, not just from Delanco, but from all kinds of places. We posted on social media. Our vendor event included people from all over, which is great because people say, oh, this library is beautiful. We didn't always know it was here. It's a great space. It's a community space, as Linda said. I do have one more concern about students using that space. Libraries are for students, of course they are. But it is my understanding that in the past year or two that the students have been coming in during non-library hours with their teachers, that the library tables, books, etc., have been left in disarray. I don't know who is responsible for that, but it certainly is not the library staff's responsibility to clean up after these kids have been in there. So I have great concerns about the disarray that the library could be left in. What will the books look like? What will there still be books after kids are there if teachers aren't watching? I'm not accusing teachers of not watching. I'm just saying we know that it has been left in disarray when students leave. Tables and chairs are everywhere, and our staff has had to fix that when students come in. So if that could be addressed between the township and the school board, that would be great, should this pass. And I had one more, library media specialist. You mentioned that the library media specialist would be hired or looking for one. I'm just wondering if we know of a date when that would happen so that we can get students in the library during library hours. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to come into the library. I know we're in a digital age, but still important to have the library as a library and not just the ambiance of the building or the library, just using it for space. I'd love to see these students come in and use the books and use the library for what it's supposed to be used for. So I'll leave that question, just wondering when that specialist, if there is one, would be hired. Thank you.
Thank you. So I will say a couple of those questions would have to be directed to the Board of Ed, to the superintendent. We couldn't answer them as to the library media specialist or the student use. If you have, concerns with the library in disarray after they visit, definitely address that come on up. You have one more thing going. Definitely something you could send an email about that to our administrator, and she can forward that to the Board of Ed as well. Go ahead.
Okay. So when you just said that, it made me think about CUSAC. So I guess on Facebook, I very rarely actually respond on Facebook, but I did respond yesterday, I believe, just because the security issue, I knew it wasn't true what people were saying. You can't get into the building from the library, and we know that. I hope the general public knows it now. It needs to be put out there that there is a locked door. We've said it, and there is a locked door. You can't get into the school from the library. However, I am concerned about this CUSAC report that has brought up the information about security with the students, intermingling with the public. I searched the Delanco Board of Ed website for the CUSAC report, and I know that you all are not responsible for it, but I did email the superintendent, and I'm curious to know how I can get a copy of that CUSAC report just to look and see exactly what it said about security, or is that not part of the issue now? Just curious about that.
Okay. And you had a question about the pay. So we're not actually requiring additional hours, right, Mr. Bartlett? Did you want to talk about that?
We're offering the library, or the Board of Ed, I should say, is offering the Library Association I think it's 8.5 additional hours that they could expand their operation to. Right now there's 30 hours. They could go up to 38.5 hours. And as it was mentioned, the township doesn't handle the operations of the library. Maureen said that perfectly. We do not do the operations of the library. All we could do is provide the facility. And the facility that we're providing has set hours that the library is allowed to use. The library could choose to use all of them, some of them, none of them. So that's up to the Library Association to decide on what hours they decide to open.
Right, so we're saying here's the available hours. If you wish to open between 12:30 and 8 on this day, you can. If you want to open 1 to 5, you can. This is just the availability. So the township is the tenant, the Board of Ed is the landlord, and then we basically sublease, so to speak, to the association. We allow them to use it under our name. Doug, did you want to talk any more on that aspect of it, as how we're able to set the hours? Because I know that's been a big concern. But basically, that's...
Well, I mean, I think the reality is that, just big picture, the schools, I'm sure can speak better to this, is in my experience over the last 20, 30 years, the obligations that are coming down from above from the state relative to having a secure campus are greater and greater. And so I think what Matt is basically saying is that there's been an effort to provide what we can in terms of hours, but the school is also constricted by what they are now facing under the current world we live in. It's not the same one that was in place when this was originally adopted. If, I don't want to be glum about it, but at some point, if it becomes too much of an issue, there has to be a conversation about whether this is the right place to keep doing this. And I don't think that's a death knell for the Library Association. They have the ability to operate within the hours that are being provided to them. But if that doesn't work and there's problems associated with that, then that's a township library discussion. I don't know that the school, my concern is the more we push back on the school on that issue, the more restrictive that could actually become in the long term.
So there's only one other library school shared situation in New Jersey. That's in Merchantville. We're the only other shared school library, township library, that's connected to a school in the whole state. There was one in Cranberry a couple years back. They closed that down and made that school space. The school said we need our space, and that was shut down. So it's a very unique situation. Kind of been flying under the radar from my understanding, with the state and the county just kind of letting it happen because it's been there for 40 years. But it is an issue if it continues to go that they may squash it altogether, just hypothetically, that they don't want the public being there at the same time as even if they don't have a shared door and there's no access, they're still on campus with the kids back and forth in that same area. They may take issue with that. I'm not saying they will or they won't, but that is a concern, I think, by the district and by us, that if we continue to push this and the state does look into it more, it could become more of an issue and they might restrict hours even more. Anyone else for the public comment? Yes, please come up.
My name is Randy Dichter. I live at 8 Charles Circle in the Point at Newton's Landing. I have a question for the superintendent. If you are concerned about security, why isn't anything being done about security, such as a security guard, closing up some of the door access to the outside? Also, the woods outside of the school by the playground, to me, is it just looks like the perfect place for somebody that wants to get to children to hide until they have an opportunity to do so. I just wonder what's being done about that, so I'll give him an opportunity to respond. The other thing is, if you want to push the public library out, what's an alternative? Where would you like us to go? Give us an alternative building, an alternative location.
I just want to be clear on the comment I'm making. The township entered into an understanding with the school as a joint project to get this built originally. There's nobody up here suggesting that we want you to move. I'm not saying that, and I'm not trying to be a doomsdayer either. That's not my nature. But I think the reality is that what I hear, and I think part of it is just communication and lack of information, but the school's world is not the same that it was 25, 30 years ago, and there's realities to that.
Absolutely.
That's all.
I've been in education since 1976 in many capacities, so I know that you're And security it's a very scary world that we live in. But I don't see them doing anything about security, and I don't think about getting a dozen or so ladies who do meditation or chair yoga, worry about them being fingerprinted is really the issue. The issue is strangers coming into the building for a purpose that they shouldn't be there for. And I just want to know what's being considered about that. Security guard, boarded up doors, boarded up entrances where they're not able to make access to these classrooms. And also that outside area, that's really a scary prospect. You look at what's going on there, you have the train and you have a lot of the surrounding areas that are not residential where anybody could hide and come out and do what they want to do.
Can I give you an answer?
Absolutely.
Well, number one, you can't just walk into school. You have to be led inside.
Right.
That's the first thing. Number two, more importantly, my officers are required daily to do walkthroughs every day, unless there's a problem with calls of service. But outside of that, every day they go into that school.
Right.
They also check the perimeter. If there's a call for someone on that property or anywhere near it, we respond and we remove them. As Solicitor has stated, this is 2025, and I'll give one of my issues that I have personally that I don't like. Most of the schools, when we have voting, the schools are closed. Why? Because we don't want people operating in the same space as our children. Delanco does it. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Okay?
I think that's terrible.
But this is one of the same, so you don't like it, right? Now, put it in this perspective here. When you're having your events in the library, absolutely you're going in there for that event.
Right.
But it doesn't allow us to forbid someone to come and park into that parking lot because the hours of operation for the library are right now. That person could be in that parking lot in his or her vehicle while our kids are in that field, not behind tree lines where
They can come from
let
anywhere.
me finish. Not behind the tree line where
Yeah.
the railroad tracks are, but right in that parking lot because the hours of operation are
Right.
hours of operation. Same thing over in Riverside. You have a library, people can be in a library, but they can be in a parking lot for nefarious reasons. But for us, we're still kind of operating as if it's 1985. It's not, it's 2025. So the goal would be to find a way to ensure that safety for kids to be outside on recess or what have you, and then still be able to utilize the space in the library for what we've been using it for. And
Well,
it's- and
I
it's
was
safe
at a
manner.
Halloween parade in Delran at an elementary school for my granddaughter. They had 2 security guards walking around to make sure that that place was safe.
Mhm.
And I just wonder why
But one of the things myself
why
and
we're not looking into that.
well, we were like looking at something actually better. Myself and Dr. Tartici and our new administrator, we were looking at having a school resource officer in the coming year.
Exactly.
So that's one of the things we're looking at
Well,
doing.
I was at the elementary school in Delran, they were
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking at doing. Aside from the officer still conducting property checks,
Absolutely, it's
but,
the kind of world we live in,
Mhm.
unfortunately,
Absolutely.
and you don't want to expose children to that,
right.
but.
And we're
better
one of the
safe
few
than sorry.
districts that doesn't have it. So,
Exactly.
yes.
So that needs to be looked into. That's important.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. That would be done utilizing what's called a Class 3 officer. We're often, a lot of times, they're retired.
Oh,
So it's a
yeah.
benefit for the township because you don't have to pay for
Absolutely.
insurance.
I've worked with them.
So,
and, yeah.
so that's one of the things we're doing for security.
Mhm.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So,
And I've seen the kids out on the playground, and it's not a safe area for them to be outside. Because the teacher, although you're walking around and you're looking at all the kids, when you have 28 or 32 kids in your class, I don't know the class sizes, I'm basing it on my experience.
right.
You know, you want to keep your eye on every kid, and you want to see what everybody's doing. Things happen. So it's just not a safe situation.
Well, that's, like I said, that's what, one of the things we're doing now, so definitely.
Okay. And as far as the library, if it doesn't work out in the building, I think the township should work on making another location and helping them move all the materials and supplies into that location. Because we need a public library in Delanco. We don't want to lose it. And if it can't be in the school, it's got to be somewhere. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment agenda items? Come on up.
Hey, I'm Megan Murphy, 175 Conroe Road, Delran.
and I say Delran purposely because I just want to make it known to all of you that the Delanco Public Library is not just for Delanco. People come to the Delanco Public Library from other surrounding towns. I have been bringing my daughter, who is now 6, to the library since she was 2 years old, because I started bringing her right after things opened up after COVID because I felt safe there. She still asks me on a daily basis, even though she's in kindergarten, when can I go to story time? But story time is when she's now in school. As of this Friday, I will be starting to bring my 21-month-old son. When I told my daughter what was happening with the library hours, the first thing she said to me is, when will Owen get to go to story time if the library is closed? And I said, I don't know. And she said, well, isn't it a public library? Doesn't public mean it's for everyone? She's 6. She gets it. If she can get it, I would hope that all of you can get it as well, because it's not just about children. It's about everyone in Delanco, because it is a public library. And not just Delanco, Delran, Riverside, Riverton, Morristown, people from all over this area come to this library. I don't have a public library in my town, okay? I hope you all realize what you have here, because I would love for Delran to have a public library. But I don't, so I bring my children here. And if I can't bring them here, I probably wouldn't bring them anywhere else, because I have no desire to go to some big giant library with all kinds of people roaming around that I don't know, where I don't feel safe, that doesn't have times that work for me and my family. So, and as far as safety and security go, the library being closed does not stop anyone from entering that parking lot. It does not stop anyone from driving in, walking in on foot, sneaking out of the woods, or just walking right up to the door. What if someone walked up to the library not knowing they were closed, and they walked all the way over there and the kids were outside playing? They're still there. I send my child to kindergarten every day. She plays outside. There's no one stopping anybody from pulling up to her school and walking around back to the playground. It's the same situation no matter what school you go in. Unless you're going to lock the kids indoors all the time, people are going to walk by, drive by, pull up to the parking lot, and go near the school. A library being open is not going to change that.
Can I give you an answer to that? It would, because there'd be no reason for them to be there. That's the difference. So like, for example, in Edgewater Park, where you're from Delran, right? Where your school is, if there's no reason for anybody to be there during school hours, when that car is in that parking lot and it's seen, they're immediately being told to leave, because there's no reason for you to be here. Now, aside from the reasons for you going, obviously they're amazing. That's what it's for. But from that perspective there only, if someone is there and they're allowed to be in that parking lot and they're there not for the reason that you go or anyone else in here, that's the difference. And that's where our state is moving, where, again, we're one of the only towns that still do it because of time. But where we're at now, it's just a different time and place.
But they're still going to approach that area, whether you get rid of them and tell them to leave or not.
But they wouldn't do it normally if they know that you're not supposed to be here. So, you know what I'm saying? Right now, they're allowed to be there because it's an open library.
Okay, it's also an open parking lot. Anybody could drive in.
And then they're going to be, but they'll be removed.
Because you tell them to turn around doesn't mean they didn't get in the first place.
Yeah, because there's no fence there. But if they drove in that lot and got out of their vehicle, ma'am, they're going to be removed. Because there's no reason for them to be here.
Okay, but that doesn't pose any different threat than a library patron pulling into that lot to enter the library. It's still a person.
It's still a person, yeah, but
with children,
which is that's what I'm telling you, man. That's why our state moved away from that, because they don't want that. They want to find a way best with the amount of school shootings we've had in this country. The goal is the safety of the children. That's all they're concerned with. They're not going to be concerned with what's historic in this town. That's just the reality.
I've also never been afraid of anyone entering a library. Just want to throw that out there.
Would you be afraid to go to one in West Hampton?
No, been there too.
So you were okay to go there?
I go to any public library, but I want to go to this one.
Okay.
Because it is a public library.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Anyone else? Public comment? Go ahead, Ann.
Ann Laura, Edgewood Avenue. Just a quick question. Can you explain why the term wasn't carried through to the full 65 years, and why it was ending in 39.
Just pick up the mic, Ann.
Sorry, the term of the agreement. So I think Maureen had raised the question of putting in that 2039 deadline is an issue. Is there a reason why it could not go to what the original referendum called?
I'll refer to the subcommittee on that, if there was anything about that.
The 2039 date, and that brought it through the end of the 50-year term from the 1987 agreement. The additional 25-year renewal that was in the additional agreement, that was removed, I believe it was in the 2015 amendment. That's not anything that's in the current agreement. So that was removed well before we got involved with this.
Why?
I couldn't tell you, Linda. I was not here. I don't believe any, I think Kate and Fern were here. I don't know why that was done back then.
No idea why it was taken out back then. In the agreement that ends 2039, in the preambles, the whereas, there is reference to the 25-year. Again, probably speaking out of turn because it's part of the negotiations that we've been dealing with, and the agreement has not been finalized. But there is a piece in there about both parties, if they choose to not have the library, or there's notice that has to be given, whether it's the township or the school board, and to have discussions about that.
So,
Again,
yes.
as we get into 2039.
It's mutual option to renegotiate in 2039, is the language. Okay, anyone else? Public comment, session 1? Going once, sir? You can go after this gentleman.
I'm Peter Silverberg, 30 Wolverton Place, that's Newton's Landing. It's always kind of assumed in this town, well, you have no kids in Newton's Landing, so you have no interest in the library. Well, actually, Mrs. Silverberg is the president of the Newton's Landing Book Club, and one of the services that a lot of you don't know about because it's the seniors service is book clubs, a book in the bag. A constant flow of heavy books, usually 10 or a dozen of the same, for a book club to rent for the month. And I see when I've gone there, my job is to pick them up and take them back and forth. So, I'm getting a lot of muscles from that. And we have more than one book club in this town, and I don't know if the hours are going to be limited or improved. I came here to argue against shrinking the hours, and I don't, you've got this other deal. But I just want to say, this service is not only one end of the age group, the story hour, but us seniors. And I'd rather pick up my books in the daylight. Yes, I can drive at night. I've got good eyesight. But, I'm not sure what the deal is, but, we're going to lose the library. We're going to have to go to West Hampton to pick up our books in the bag, or the next nearest one, Riverside. Just because the architecture happened to be building a library in the same building as the school doesn't mean we should try to lose it.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Mossop.
Township Committee. I'm Eric Mossop, 837 Laurel Street. I want to address some of the resistance I'm hearing regarding the adjustment to the Delanco Library opening time. First off, I want to say I am a member of the board, but I speak for myself, right? I always have to say it. Gotta love that. You're a lawyer. First, nobody up there, and frankly, nobody on our body, wants the library to close or die a slow death. So let's take that and throw it out. Nobody wants that. This change from 10 to 12:30 wasn't made lightly. nor was it made without careful consideration of both the state requirements and the operational needs of our school district. Because the town library is physically connected to the school building, its hours fall under the same safety, security, and access rules that apply to school operations. During our most recent QSAC review, which is the Quality Single Accountability Continuum, we received specific recommendations that the public actually shouldn't be on the library grounds until 3:30 p.m. This recommendation was based on safety concerns, supervision requirements, the state's expectations for public access to facilities that are attached to school buildings during instructional hours. So in other words, the state's process and the state's position was that the public entry for the school days should be significantly restricted. But despite that, we didn't want to adopt a full 3:30 p.m. recommendation. Nobody up there or on our body did. Instead, we worked together, collaborating in negotiations to find a middle ground, one that strengthens student safety for QSAC compliance while still preserving some meaningful daytime access for our community. Opening at 12:30 represents that compromise and all of those needs. Shifting the opening time allows us to ensure that instructional time and morning student routines are protected. Students outside in recess and physical education are protected while still serving and preserving the valuable services that this community expects and that the library provides to our community. These hours proposed in the agreement also represent an extension to what's currently being offered by the library board. Should the library board choose to take advantage of it, like they said, it's their choice on the hours, based upon the hours that are in the agreement. I fully understand that the library has traditionally opened earlier, and that the library board is obviously frustrated by that. But we have a responsibility, legally and ethically, to prioritize student safety, protect instructional time, and comply with the expectations that were outlined in that state review. The shift to 12:30 opening is not only reasonable, it is far more flexible than what the state and QSAC indicated should occur. We all want our schools to be ranked higher. That helps all of our property values, so let's be real. This helps us move closer to that goal with the state and gains us some of those valuable points back. We value the library deeply, and we remain committed to supporting its vital role in the community. I respect the tradition, and I respect the passion of the library board. However, safety, security, compliance, and the state accountability assessments cannot be compromised. This adjustment simply reflects the reality of a shared building and our obligation to follow state guidance while providing public access at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mossop. If there's no one else, I'd like to move on to our consent agenda. Sir?
David Suter, 725 Delaware. Small towns don't really work well without a whole bunch of people volunteering their time, as you all know. And it takes a lot of diligence and a lot of effort to keep these functions going forward. The question that hasn't been answered tonight is not whether it's going to be safer or anything like that. It's why didn't you ask the people who work for the library board to be involved in this decision and not have to show up in a meeting and have this sprung on them this way? These are the kinds of things that cause people to say, gosh, volunteering is a lot tougher than it should be. Because everybody here is trying to work for a better Delanco. We agree on that. All of us, regardless of politics and other stuff. In the future, you guys need to do better in this way. Things are kind of top down here instead of bottom up. Thank you.
I can appreciate that thought, but we do have a library board liaison. Mr. Ouellette is that liaison and has been going back and forth with the association for several years now. He's been the liaison, so he has brought back their concerns, he's brought our concerns to them, so they haven't been left out of this, for sure. But it's not like they had no idea what was going on. They've known for a long time now that this was something that may happen, so.
And additionally, they're also not a party to the agreement. So
Right.
there's certain confidentiality guidelines that the two parties to the agreement, which is the Board of Education and Delanco Township, have to have in order to have an agreement. And Doug could speak more on that, but frankly, the Delanco Library Association is not a party to that agreement, and they haven't been. Should they be? Perhaps. It might even be beneficial that the Library Association have a contract directly with the school, like most library associations do, with their landlords. Why the township got involved with this back in 1989, I would imagine, had to do with the referendum. But most places, the township is not being the middleman here. Anything, Doug?
You know, we've struggled through this process for a long time, and it just seems to me like I do think the communication, is difficult and could be better. I see a sea change in positive communication with the school board, and I hear, frustration on the part of the Library Association now. So it's not an easy process, and I think everyone's just trying to work towards the same goal of trying to bring closure to what's been dragging on for years.
Thanks, Doug. And, on behalf of everyone on this committee, we all see the value of having a public library here. As Ms. Y eloquently said, my grandson, her great-grandson, goes to the story time. But if the story time shifted, if it was moved to a Saturday, I know Maureen shaking her head no, if the story time shifted to Saturday morning at the same time, it's before lunchtime, we adapt and overcome. We want to work with the library, we want to work with the schools for the best of the town. And none of us want to see this library go away whatsoever.
All right, with that, I'm going to close this session to public comment. So looking at the agenda here, this resolution 2025-160 was initially on our consent agenda. It wasn't supposed to be on the consent agenda. It was supposed to be a separate resolution. We did speak about this as committee and executive, and we are going to table this resolution until we can discuss it more with the parties involved, and we will address it at our next meeting in December. So the resolution will not be voted on tonight nor discussed any further.
We do need a motion to table that.
So we will, yes, so we will need a motion to table resolution 2025-160 and postpone it to discussion item in our next,
December 1st.
December 1st, what? December
20
1st? No.
Yep.
Is it December 1st?
So it's on my calendar, first Monday of
Oh, yeah,
December.
December 1st, yeah. So we're going to postpone this resolution to December 1st. Can I get a motion, please?
Phil made it.
Well, 4 people. Yeah.
Phil made it already.
Okay, Phil and
I'll second.
Matt. Roll call.
Okay, who made the motion?
Phil
Phil.
and Matt.
Okay.
Scott. Scott. Well,
Whoever.
his legal name's still
Mr.
Matt.
Bartlett.
Mr. Bartlett. This is the motion to
Yes.
table.
Yes, to
Please
table.
say yes to table it, yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Patrick.
Yes.
Mr. McFadden.
Yes.
Mr. Olet.
Yes.
Ms. Seuss.
Yes, thank you. So we'll take a minute if you'd like to head out. I know it's getting late. We'll take a minute and let you do that. Thank you all for your coming and for your comments. We really do appreciate it.
And you're also welcome to stay. I never thought I'd say this. I need another hot tea. No, I need a tea.
Anybody want a mint? I just had a cold coffee. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Mint? Yeah, Maurice and Kate, I know.
But we are recording now, back recording.
We're back in public session. We're just waiting on Ms. Fitzpatrick. No, I can see everybody.
Keep it open, Ray.
Can't close it.
Can't close it.
Hi, Cindy.
Unlike the school, we have to keep our doors open here.
You say that at every meeting. Just keep blessing.
For those watching at home, we'll be started momentarily again.
Hmm?
I was just telling the people watching at home that we'll be starting momentarily.
Yeah, we're just waiting on Miss Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, fine. Phil's a good point. Why?
To offer even more.
Phil's a good point.
They're so constricted now, and they're gonna get more constricted.
We need consent.
Exactly.
Do you want to deal with
We don't publish kids' names in the newspapers. We don't even post them up on the wall.
Fair enough. Go get it.
Birth announcements have gone. Remember that your kid's first birthday? You don't put your kids' information in the paper.
Okay, so I'm going to read the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with a single motion. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Anybody have anything they'd like to remove from the consent agenda at this time?
If we did 160 already, I'm good.
That was it.
Can somebody shush them?
I'll let him.
Okay, ordinance 2025-14, we're on the consent agenda. A bond ordinance of the Township of Delanco and the County of Burlington authorizing the remediation of Ash Street and improvements to recreation facilities at various parks, appropriating the total sum of $698,000 even, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $663,100 in bonds or notes of the township for financing such appropriations and making certain determinations and covenants and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. This is the first reading by title only and set public hearing date for December 15, 2025 at 7 p.m. Resolution 2025-151, disposal of out-of-service police department equipment. Resolution 152, authorizing change order number 2 for historic waterfront park project. Resolution 153, resolution certifying liens against certain properties for costs incurred by the township in accordance with Chapter 135 of the Township Code. Resolution 154, resolution certifying liens against certain properties for costs incurred by the township in accordance with Chapter 135 of the Township Code. So there's 2 resolutions for that? Okay, gotcha. Resolution 2025-155, resolution to cancel taxes and refund tax overpayment total due veteran exemption pursuant to NJSA 54:4-3.30A. Resolution 2025-156, resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriation into the 2025 budget pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-87. Resolution 157, resolution authorizing acceptance of grant from the Burlington County Division of Behavioral Health and Youth Services. Resolution 158, resolution authorizing employment contract with the Delanco Police Department Lieutenant. Resolution 159, authorizing a contract with administrative agent for the administration of affordable units. Approve a payment of bills in the amount of $1,983,325.54 as per the bill list. Run date 11/7 and 11/14. Approval of minutes 9/8, 9/22, and 10/20. Approval of business licenses 2025 44, 45, 46. Can I get a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Kate, second by Phil. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bartlett.
Yes.
Mrs. Patrick.
Yes.
Mr. McFadden.
Yes.
Mr. Olet.
Yes.
Ms. Seuss.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to the approval of minutes from 10/6/25. Someone has to abstain.
I do.
Thank you. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Matt and Kate. Roll call.
Mr. Bartlett.
Yes.
Mrs. Patrick.
Yes.
Mr. McFadden.
Yes.
Mr. Olet.
Abstain.
Ms. Seuss.
Yes. Correspondence, please.
Well,
Get reading, Jan.
All right, so officially for the record, we received 12 pieces of correspondence from various people regarding the proposed library agreement, and I'm not going to read all 12, I'll read who they're from. Susan Atkins, 12 Harris Court, Steve Schaefer, 2 West Farm Way, Joe Caruso, no address, Arlene Tarashi, 55 Pennington Court, Elizabeth Mattisette, 304 Center Avenue, Donna Highland, no address given, Patricia Mangini, 27 Charles Circle, Laura Crum, 549 Delaware Avenue, Nicole Quinn, no address given, Martin Lascalzo, 4 Wilson Way, Jackie Jordan, no address given, and Nicole Gray, no address given. All were received via email, except for one was delivered in person, and they were all in regards to the proposed agreement between the Township Committee, the Township and the Library School Board for the library agreement for the use of the space as public library.
Okay, thank you very much.
And I have no other correspondence, thank you.
Perfect. Meetings open to the public again. This is session 2 for comments and questions on anything you'd like to talk about. Please come to the podium and state your name and address. Everything stiffens up, right?
Ray Weber, 22 Ships. One thing for Harry. What's going on with Newton's Landing Boulevard and the going to be resurfaced and curbing put in?
Yes, we received a DOT grant to repave all of Newton's Landing Boulevard, both sides.
Yeah.
And included with that is putting Belgian block curb on the entrance section.
Yeah, okay.
So that is, it's funded by the grant, and that's going through. That'll be the spring, early summer project.
Somebody asked me, and that's the reason why I'm bringing it up.
We've got to bid in March for that, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then a couple things for John. There's some stumps, one's on 200 Russ Farm Way between, right at the circle. It's about 6 inches up in the ground. It was cut, the tree was cut down, and the stump's still sitting.
Yeah, they should be removed. They're removed.
Not this one. It was there this morning.
Yeah, I'll go check it out.
Yeah, 200 Russ Farm Way, it's on the circle.
When was the tree cut down? Last week?
No, this was cut down 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It's still sitting there.
Well, the problem is with stumps out there. All the utilities go between the curb and the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So every time you grind the stumps, you do damage to something out there.
True.
And you get a little shell shocked after the third or fourth one that you hit.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
And one
but
other
I'll
one-
check that out. I don't know why that.
Yeah, and the other one is between 19 and 21 Ships. That one there is ground level.
Why don't
And
you
that
paint a
was taken
mural
down.
on it or plant some flowers around it? Embrace the tree stump.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, that one there is where you guys came out because the tree was swaying.
Was leaning. Was that the leaning tree?
Yeah, that was the leaning tree.
Yeah.
It was, when the wind hit it, it blew from the stump on up. It blew
geez.
right to left, left to right, whatever. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
Just so everybody knows, with the DOT grant, so there's certain criteria that we have to meet in order to apply for that. It's a certain amount of traffic count. We can't just apply for like an everyday street, like we couldn't apply for like Fenimore or, Ash Street. And we have to put traffic counters out there and justify it in order to get funding. So we're actually like running out of streets that would qualify for DOT money. Right, Harry?
That's correct. The higher that traffic count, the better chance you are getting that grant.
Yeah.
And a lot of streets this year are going to be paved by the utility companies.
Right.
Yeah, which is great.
Which is really good for the township. But yes, that's why that was picked, because it was a good candidate to receive the grant.
Not because they're 17% of our tax base.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the tax base is.
Yeah.
We get accused of paving rich people's houses and roads only, so I just want to make that clear that we pick and choose, but we don't pick and choose, so, right. We have to talk about 2026 road program with the subcommittee. Okay. All right, anybody else for public comment? I think Cindy popped up first, and then we'll get you, Nancy.
I'll be fast, I promise. Cindy Hedman, 70 Walton Way. I just want to understand how you guys are going to go about determining what D.R. Horton has accomplished before you, I mean, I understand the bond's going to have to be reduced, we talked about that. I just want to make sure, I want to understand how that process happens to make sure that there's going to be enough money there to do all the work they still haven't done yet.
Yeah, we're allowed to hold 30% of the improvements, regardless of whether they were done or not. Most improvements have been done. The basins, we won't release any of that.
Is that a separate bond from the 1.2 million you mentioned?
That's part of the 1.2 million, so we would keep that for sure, enough money to actually rebuild the basins if needed.
Okay, that's what I wanted to be sure of. So the 30% is, it's going to be the 1.2 million less what you believe still has to be done, then it's 30% of that?
No, it would be 30% of the total bond that was originally posted, which was probably 4 million or...
And that's all you're holding? You said in the beginning you're going to hold 30%.
That's what we're holding now?
No, we're holding, well, we might be getting down close, so it might be about 800,000 or so that would be down, that we could just hold by right.
Okay.
So we could give them 400,000, essentially. You said we have about 1.2 million now?
Yeah.
So we could give them back 400,000 and hold 8?
Yeah, they're rough numbers, but yeah.
Rough numbers.
That's what I work out the numbers, what it actually is.
And you'll just double check exactly what they have done, because honestly, since we did our walkthrough in August, they've not been back. So I know nothing's been done with sidewalks, nothing's been done with streets, things like that. So again, I understand all of this. I just want to make sure we're protected and there's money remaining to get done what needs to get done if they don't do it, that's all.
So Harry will report back to us and we'll let you know, definitely, as soon as we have an answer on that.
Thank you.
Do we have a time period on that?
There is.
They have to put a letter together.
They did submit a letter.
Oh, did
and I don't
they?
know if they did it officially to the township, but they sent something.
Well, we didn't get it under correspondence and I haven't seen anything. Debbie?
No, I've not.
No.
So a decision is or isn't made by December 1st? Because you had said that there would have to come back to the next meeting.
Correct.
So the request to do that would be December 1st?
Yes. That I'll have my recommendation before the December 1st.
We'll talk to you before then.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hi, come on up.
Nancy Russ, 228 Maple Avenue. I have a concern about the driveway at Pearson, the crosswalk. And I've discussed this, and my husband has discussed this with both crossing guards with several people about having those lines there repainted because they're just almost partially, if you go up there at the Pearson driveway, you can see that they really need to be repainted.
Where you crossed
Yes.
today, where I saw you?
Yes.
So across Burlington Avenue?
Yeah, no, not across Burlington
Across
Avenue.
the
They're-
sidewalk?
the entrance there.
I thought they just painted them.
School property.
Yeah, I thought the school painted them now.
I don't know.
No. If
I
you-
did
if
see
you
him.
went-
I think
painting
what's
the fence.
happening, the street is failing, okay, and it's alligatoring, and it works on the lines.
Mhm.
With the amount of traffic that's coming in and out there now, it's gonna have to be
It's also just regular paint. It's not the thermostriping, the thermoplastic striping, so it just fades quick.
You talking about the first set or the second set?
What's that?
The first set of?
The first set when you first.
The first,
enter the driveway.
okay, because
Yeah,
it's,
It really could use a repainting over there.
So are we paving that section to the parking lot or just the parking lot?
With the money that we have.
Probably just the
it's
parking lot.
lot.
Okay.
If the school wants to kick in extra money, then.
So we'll talk to the school and see what we can do about that.
Okay, that would be
But
good.
I'll call the county and,
Yeah.
Because I know the county came out maybe a year ago or so. when
yeah, well,
the-
they just were out.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the county came, that was only, they're not gonna do the school property.
Oh,
The county
okay.
came,
All right. I know
they painted Edgewood and Burlington out where Jody was.
You're right.
Because that was the only one that was faded.
You're
But,
talking right on Burlington Avenue?
No, the school property.
In the school.
All
In
the
the
way
drive, no, in the driveway.
right here, John.
What?
The
Right here.
first,
The driveway to
As
school.
soon as you turn it.
Yeah, right, that's what I said, right off of Burlington
yeah,
Avenue.
right off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right where the digital sign is for the library.
But who's responsible to put, that's on school property, is that the
That's school,
school's
yeah.
responsibility?
There,
But John
yeah.
might be able to talk to the county and tell them the predicament
Yeah, well,
and see if
that's-
they can help.
They should have painted that, because that is a county road. And I'm sure there's a right of way.
I think it's in the county right away still, because it's between the sidewalks still.
Yeah. So John will reach out and then
We didn't know.
we'll see if we can, no, that's
Talk to 'em,
absolutely
you
fine.
know,
Start
I've
here.
been patching that, and I put a lot of patch in it.
Yeah.
A lot of patch. And,
If it was the second one, I would say that'd be the school's responsibility, but the first one, that's the county right away.
So we did get a grant from Senator Singleton's office for $100,000 to repave part of the parking lot. We're only gonna be able to do that back section with $100,000, so that's being worked on, but this entrance right wouldn't be that. So we'll work with the county and see what we can do.
That's great. The only other concern I had, and I don't know if this is the township or the school, those 4 trees that line that driveway when you first come in, well, actually, when you're coming out, those 4 big trees. The one that's closest to me, okay, the branches just fall constantly. And I'm not talking small branches. When I go there during my crossing, is that the school? When I go there during my crossing, there are large branches that are laying out there. And I pick them up and I try to get them out of the way. Because in the afternoons, when kids come out of school, these kids are grabbing those branches and they start to walk. And I literally go up to those kids and take those branches away from them because I don't want anybody to get hurt on the way home. I don't want to see that branch, you know, some kid hits another kid. I said, you know, just leave it. And they do, they drop it. But I don't know who's responsible for the maintenance of that. And the other day when we had all that wind, that last tree that dropped by me, I heard and I told Dave, my husband Dave, I heard a distinctive crack. And I'm like, it scared me because I don't know the quality of that tree. I don't know if it partially is dead. I don't know what it is, but there are large branches that are coming off that tree and they're falling down.
It's definitely the school, so we'll let them know. We'll relay your concerns about that too.
I know that they're having somebody do some trees on the right side as you go into the parking lot. I think that,
these are on the left side.
right, I know what you mean,
Big
yeah.
ones.
Yeah, it's along the sidewalk.
I think it's a maple
They're
tree.
always bad.
But
He's
these
always-
branches are coming down. I'm not talking about little branches. I'm talking about big branches. And when the kids see them when they come out of school,
Right.
they think, you know, it's
Mhm.
fun and they pick them up and grab them.
And so you're talking about these big 4 trees right on the,
About that last
okay.
one right there.
I've seen that.
And
I think it's a maple tree.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know much about speed.
I think they might be oak.
Oak or maple, one of Yeah, I think you're right, 'cause it is a big.
You know, somebody can look into it.
Yeah, I'm the liaison to the Board of Ed, so I'll reach out and I'll let them know. Joanne, Eric, Board of Ed's here, consider it known. Yeah, that's right, they hear us themselves. I'll text Tim Allen and I'll let him know.
No, it's not. It's probably not.
No
They're
problem,
just
Nancy.
30 trees. Yeah, they are. All right,
We
anybody else?
definitely want our crossing guards protected at all costs.
We appreciate our crossing guard.
Anyone else? No? Great. Close that session to the public. Thank you all for your comments. Discussion items, 2026 reorg and township committee meeting date calendar. We were all given potential dates for township committee meetings and budget sessions. I'm going to pull them out and look at them. Where's the township committee date?
The back of the agenda,
Oh, okay.
the original package.
I didn't see, I thought the only thing that was, were holidays and meetings, the budget sessions. I didn't see budget sessions on here, do I?
I think Debbie just gave that out tonight,
Separate calendar. Oh, that one, okay. I thought that was
where I put that one.
another file. That's the executive.
Yeah, it's executive session.
Yeah, I was in executive.
So reorg would be the 5th.
Are you good for the 5th? Great.
The calendar itself for all the meetings is fine with me, but I didn't have the budget, so it's,
I like the 2 dates in June. This way we don't have that sporadic, long period of time in July not having a meeting, so that's good.
Debbie, for the budget calendar, Tuesday, March 4th and Tuesday, March 18th, are they Tuesday, March 3rd and Tuesday, March 17th, or are they Wednesday, the 4th and 18th?
That was a last minute change, so it was the 4th.
So it's going to be Wednesdays.
Wednesday
Okay.
the 4th, yeah.
Yeah, that was like.
But you're both days.
You're off on Wednesdays, right? Kate?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, because we usually meet at 3 or 3:30.
Okay, that's why we changed it last minute to make it a Wednesday. I just
So
didn't get a chance to
it
update.
doesn't matter what day, as
Okay.
long as it's after 3 for me, 3 or after, doesn't matter what day.
So we're just putting the 2, because last year we penciled in 3.
No, we don't want 3.
I'd prefer not to have 3.
Yes, just
If you're
the
getting done
2. Definitely
okay.
the first one, and then the second one if we need it.
Phil, what
I'm good
works
with
for
that.
you? 3:30, 4?
3:30 is fine.
Okay.
4 o'clock's fine. I have to take the whole day off, so it don't make a difference to me.
So,
Oh, well, that's not cool.
so are we
Oh, yes,
meeting,
it is.
He prefers it that way.
I thought you said we're only meeting 3 days?
2 days.
2 days, March
4th
4th and
18th.
18th.
Okay. That's all we're.
Well, 4th and if needed, the 18th.
And the 18th? Oh, okay.
And then Debbie will meet as the administrator in the month of February with the various departments. Budget request forms will go out January 7th. This way they have a full year's budget to look at, to not have to estimate what the last couple months would be. And then budget request forms are due back January 23rd from all the various departments. And then we hope to introduce the budget at the first April meeting and adoption in May, beginning of May.
Are they gonna be 3:30, Debbie, or what, you'll let us know what time?
Yeah, 3:30 works. We'll make it 3:30.
Okay, good, all right. I'm okay.
Great. Everybody else? Anybody else have comments, feedback?
Just the week of, we have a township committee scheduled for August 17th. I just won't be here as long as there's enough of you guys. I'll be in Bahamas, thinking of you guys fondly.
August 17th.
You can zoom in if you want.
Oh, I'm sorry, the coverage is bad down there on the cruise ship, Doug.
Yeah, I'm okay then.
Never has a problem.
I know,
You-
right?
You're not wrong.
Middle of the ocean, I make it work.
I'll be thinking of other things.
Okay, I have,
Did you,
what?
confirm a reorg date and time, just so that we can let other
January
board
5th.
secretaries know, and also get it to the Beverly B and calendar and all that good stuff?
Yep, January 5th,
At what time?
normal time, 7 p.m. Mm-hmm,
Okay.
right? So we all decided?
That's when do we normally do reorg at 7 or is it at 6?
No, 7, right?
I did 6 last year.
I thought it was 6.
All right, let's do 6.
So that's the regular time for reorg,
Well, we
she
did
meant.
6 because we had to accommodate the senator. That's why we did 6. Yeah, that's why we did 6. So,
We'll let them know early this time.
Okay, so 6 p.m.
we'll do 6. Why not? This way it gives us
Sure.
time to go out afterwards and...
I have it at 6, yeah.
I don't stay up late, so that works.
Motion to adjourn.
Absolutely, so moved.
I'll second. I'll third.
Aye.
Have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Night.
Oh, my back.
I know.
I can't sit for that
I
long.
stood up, both hips.